What I've done is incredible, but I don't really know, can't be sure because, and I know that. I've known that for a long time. And you saw the other day my little granddaughter, she's named Carolina. There's for a reason, because Lara. I also own a big enterprise down the road at Lake Norman. Does anybody know of what I have? I wish I had time to go see it. I won't have time to even see it. I got to go in and out, but I'll be back. As you know, there have been 2 assassination attempts on my life that we know of, and they may or may not involve, but possibly do, Iran. But I don't really know, can't be sure, because we won the case in Florida. It's all a big scam. It's all against a political opponent, me, who's doing better in the polls than anybody else and should be hopefully able to recapture the presidency. And by the way, I want to thank the Democrats because they just increased funding for the Secret Service, who work very hard. They increased funding for the Secret Service. We don't even know who our president is right now. Who is our president right now? We really don't know, but we have 2 people, not one, that only keep looking. And when you do that, when you just look, trouble always ensues. So it's big trouble for our country. So I want to make that statement because we are under threat. I have been threatened very directly. And the world's reserve currency is under siege right now. A lot of people think we won't have the reserve currency. If we lose that, that's like the equivalent of losing a war. We will have it. If I'm elected president, we will have the world's reserve currency in better shape and order, and every country will follow it. And if they don't, we will put tariffs on that country, and we won't trade with that country, and they will then call us and say, we would love to have you continue to be the world's reserve currency, sir. You know, you don't need anything at the border. All you need is the President of the United States to say, the border is closed. I didn't have anything. I had only a good thought process. I closed the border. I built hundreds of miles of wall, and I got Mexico to give us thousands of soldiers to guard our country so people didn't come in. And we had the safest border in the history of our country. I didn't need to have a document. I was president. I said to the Border Patrol, nobody better than the Border Patrol and ICE and all of the rest, law enforcement, even something like she worked very long and hard hours over French fries at McDonald's. She'd never worked at McDonald's. It was a fake story. It was a fake story. The press now refuses to write it because it's so, you know, there's a very simple one. She said she worked at McDonald's and she didn't. Not highly sophisticated, not complicated. It was a lie. North Carolina lost over 300,000 manufacturing jobs quickly, including 60% of its furniture manufacturing jobs, and that number was going up until I came along. No one in Washington ever cared until me. The North Carolina furniture industry, what was left of it, because when I got there, you were in bad shape. But I saved the rest of the industry from total obliteration. And I just want to say to North Carolina, you're welcome. These beautiful women are from North Carolina. They have been following me all over the United States for years. This is number 232, and this isn't a rally. This is just a gathering of business people, just letting them know how well we're doing with all of the things that we're doing and how well we're doing in the polls. We're doing very well. We're leading in North Carolina by nice numbers, I think, but the real story is now being told because you're hearing the story. But these women have followed me all over. Their husbands are great people that put up with them. They are all over. Look how beautiful they are. They follow me to California. They follow all over the country. And now finally we're in North Carolina, so you don't have to go so far. They live about 20 minutes away. but they are unbelievable patriots, and we appreciate it. There's actually about 50 of them, and I often wonder, you know, they're happily married, they're great, they're happily married, but boy, their husbands, I say, darling, I'm leaving for a couple of days. We're going on. He's going, you're going to watch him again? You remember when I said during the debate, when Chris Wallace was the host, he did not so. How's Chris Wallace doing lately? Not too good, right? He's not doing too good. I said, why did the mayor of Russia's wife pay you $3.5 million cash? How come? And Chris Wallace stopped me. You're not supposed to be asking that question. I said, why not? That's a question. He wouldn't let it be asked. We had a woman debating. She just talked about, like, the birds and the bees. She didn't talk about when you asked a question. There was never an answer. There was never any knowledge. When you saw her the other day, and by the way, when she did the interview previous with the Pennsylvania person who was a nice person, I know him very well, they were the softest questions. She was unable, literally unable, to answer the questions, and we can't have that. A lot of those jobs, especially those furniture jobs, they're going to be coming back. It's not overly complicated, and we're going to explain it. And it's what many countries have done to us for years and years and years, and we didn't do it because we didn't have the leadership necessary to understand what was going on. Here is the deal that I will be offering to every major company and manufacturer within our country. I will give you the lowest taxes, the lowest energy costs. I will cut your energy in half. The lowest regulatory burden and free access to the best and biggest market on the planet Earth, but only if you make your product here in America and hire American workers for the job. You know, I had Wall Street geniuses calling me up yesterday. I said this yesterday when I was in Georgia, but we were in Georgia and doing well. And they called me up after the speech and they said, what? Who gave you that idea to cut the taxes, but only if you make the product in the USA? Pretty good idea. They said, who gave you that idea? I said, I did. Every once in a while in business, you'll look at a company and say, how is it possible that I can buy this company? This company's great. Happens. I've had it happen a lot. Actually, I've done a lot of them. But the other side looks and doesn't understand why you're so thrilled. And that's the way I view the incredible potential of the United States. This is a profit-generating machine that's been horribly run by either corrupt or very stupid politicians. And it's been allowed to be dissipated, absolutely dissipated. But it's like a company that you see it, you buy it, you change it, and you make a fortune. And oftentimes the seller of those companies will come back to me and come back to others and say, why the hell didn't I see that? Happens. I've had a lot of jobs like that. You take it and it becomes a tremendous success. And the seller would call me and say, congratulations, I never saw what you saw. You know, they talk about the paperclip. The paperclip is a very simple thing. A lot of people say, gee, why didn't I think of that? The United States of America is going to be by far the most successful country anywhere in the world, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to do things that nobody will believe, and it's so simple, and it's going to happen fast. We're going to do great things for the citizens of our country. We're going to make an absolute fortune for the American people. I think it's okay to say that. It's about time, because we've been given. All of your furniture makers are going to come back and come back bigger and stronger and better than ever before. They're mostly gone. They're all coming back. This is why people in countries want to kill me. They're not happy with me. It is. It's a risky business. This is why they want to kill me. They only kill consequential presidents, remember that. That will drive our country into a depression like in 1929. And over the years, I've been into politics, but mostly on the other side, like writing checks for politicians. Campaign contributions, extremely legal, but I've been on the other side, campaign contributions. This is unbelievable that this woman is running. She's a communist. Her views are communist. A politician always goes back to where they came from. We will cut 10 old regulations for every one new regulation. So I cut more regulations during my 4-year term than any other president in history during any term. And we're going to keep it going. We did much better, by the way, in the election of 2020 than we did in 2016. Just remember that. Millions and millions of votes more. More votes than any sitting president in the history of our country. But they beat us by a whisker. They beat us just by a little whisker. He beat us from the basement. What I've done is incredible. With the Nobel Prize, I had so many people, you should get the Nobel Prize. I said, don't worry about it. They don't get the Nobel Prize to certain people. But these are the people that get things done. These are the people that understand strength and they understand peace.